Hello, friends. It was a cold January night in 49 BCE. The Rubicon River wasn't very wide, barely a puddle compared to the Tiber. But that night, it might as well have been the ocean. Standing at its edge, Julius Caesar wasn't just about to cross water. He was about to cross into history, war, and immortality. Roman law was clear. No general could bring his army into Italy proper. It was sacred ground, a line you did not cross unless you wanted to start a civil war. Caesar, ever the showman, paused. Maybe he tapped his foot in the water dramatically. Maybe he said something poetic. Probably. Legend says he muttered, "Alea iacta est," the die is cast. And just like that, with one bold step, he gambled everything. Meanwhile, back in Rome, panic spread faster than a bad rumor at a gladiator match. The Senate, running in circles. Pompey, scooping up his toga and fleeing south. They had underestimated Caesar. They thought he'd blink. But Caesar didn't blink. He marched. His army, loyal, battle-hardened, and madly devoted, stormed through Italy like a summer wildfire. City after city surrendered without a fight. Even towns with great names like Corfinium, which sounds like a fancy Roman perfume, rolled over without much fuss. Pompey realized this wasn't just a political spat anymore. It was survival. He gathered what forces he could and retreated to Greece, hoping to buy time. But Caesar wasn't about to let him sip wine on a sunny beach. No, he wanted closure, and preferably with a big dramatic flourish. First, though, Caesar had to handle business. Rome needed food, money, and a new boss. Spoiler, he nominated himself. He didn't waste time holding grudges or endless debates. He appointed himself dictator, just temporarily, he insisted, and got the gears of the city running again. Fun fact, during the early chaos, one senator tried hiding state gold under his toga. Caesar caught him and, instead of punishing him harshly, laughed and said something like, "At least you show ambition worthy of Rome. Imagine being so confident you roast a thief and make him blush instead of beg." The Civil War wasn't over, far from it. It would stretch across Italy, Greece, Egypt, and beyond. Friends would become enemies. Heroes would fall. Old allies like Pompey would discover that yesterday's handshake could easily turn into tomorrow's dagger. But the die was cast. There was no unrolling the scroll, no putting the eagle back in its cage. Rome, once a republic of rules and rituals, was now a republic on the edge of a sword. And at the center of it all, a man with a laurel wreath on his brow, ambition in his eyes, and an army at his back. Julius Caesar had crossed the Rubicon. But little did he know, destiny had a few more tricks waiting, tricks far deadlier than a senate full of laws or a battlefield full of spears. Because when you climb too high, the fall is never far behind. Next time, we dive into the ultimate betrayal, where friend and foe blur and the Idas of March sharpen their knives.